What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel. Now, before we get into this week's interesting episode of WWE's Biggest Issue, guys, we are now officially 23 subs away from 200. We are getting there, guys. We are drawing closer and closer to the goal of 200 day by day. Let's see if we can get to 200 subs by the time the summer comes to a close. Because as I have said in previous videos, if this channel does get to 200 subs, I will open up this Korean Strike of Neos booster box in its entirety on the channel, on the hopes of potentially pull this guy, Elemental Hero, Air, Neos, on the hopes... Yeah, you heard me right, Air Neos. I know I said on the hopes twice, I apologize. The so-called forbidden Yu-Gi-Oh card. Is it really forbidden? I'll let you be the judge of that. If this channel gets to 500 subs, I will open up this Korean LOB booster box in its entirety on the channel that I got from my partners over at Collector Store. So be sure to check them out. Link and address will be in the description below. On the hopes to potentially pull a Blue Eyes White Dragon, a Dark Magician, a Red Eyes Black Dragon, a piece of Exodia. The possibilities are out there, guys. And by checking out Collector Store, not only does it support them, it also supports the channel, and I would greatly appreciate it. And speaking of Collector Store, if this channel gets to 1,000 subs, I will open up this first edition Toon Chaos box in its entirety on the channel that I also got from my partners at Collector Store, on the hopes of potentially pull my second ever collector's rare, because that's not the only, because that wouldn't be the only collector's rare that I would have pulled on the channel. I also pulled this, if I can pull it out. That's what she said. A collector's rare B-Cop from the Underworld. It is absolutely gorgeous. You cannot deny how beautiful this card is. I am going to be getting it graded at some point, though. Don't really know when, though. Don't really know when. But if you guys want to see those boxes get opened, maybe you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue. Maybe you guys want more episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue. Deck profiles, card discussions, WWE topic videos, or maybe you guys want some premium live event predictions and results. Well, if you guys want all of that and more, my channel is the place to be. So if you guys have not done so already, be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, smash that thumbs up button, and follow me on all of my social media. My ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. Now, for this week's episode, I know this is a bit of a random one, but this was something that I wanted to bring up because of the fact that originally we were supposed to get this last month, which was King and Queen of the Ring, but WWE scrapped it and they turned it into Night of Champions. So for this week's episode, we're gonna answer the big question: is WWE planning on bringing King and Queen of the Ring to WWE? Are they still going to plan the premium live event? Because originally it was supposed to have been, it's supposed to be a premium live event, right? And it was supposed to have taken place in Saudi Arabia last month, but which was supposed to have concluded. I guess it was supposed to take place with the finals of both tournaments taking place at the event. But they ended serving up Night of Champions, which to be quite fair, Night of Champions actually was pretty insane, because we saw because we saw Brock Lesnar versus Cody Rhodes, Seth freaking Rollins versus AJ Styles for the World Heavyweight title, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn against Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa for the tag team titles. We had Gunther versus Mustafa Ali for the Intercontinental title, Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus, Bianca Belair versus Asuka for the then Raw Women's title, or I guess now the WWE Women's title. And then, of course, we had Rhea Ripley versus Natalya for the Women's World title, or I guess back then, the SmackDown Women's title. And if you guys missed out on that prediction video and the result video from that night, definitely check it out. I recommend you guys check it out. It was absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. But now we're already like just a few days away from Money in the Bank, and the card itself is literally speaking for themselves. Like, you've got Cody Rhodes versus Dominic Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio. You got the Bloodline Civil War between Roman and Solo and the Usos. You got you have as well the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. And not only that, you got the women's tag team titles being defended as well, which is gonna be even more insane. So again, it ties back into the question: is WWE still planning King and Queen of the Ring? So this was actually updated. So there was an update on this whole thing. And apparently Fightful Select, big shout out, no copyright, reported that WWE sources have heard absolutely nothing about this event being penciled in for later this year, in which supposedly they're being kept in the back pocket of WWE as something else might happen at a future Saudi Arabian show, in which as it stands, WWE has not announced their next trip to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, which most likely, in which you guys know, for the most part, it usually ends up being. It usually ends up being like crown jewel, you know, for the most part. So I don't know, guys. This is a bit of an odd one. This was something that just kind of, this was something that I needed to talk about. So, my honest opinion on this situation, I think it's a bit of a, I think it's gonna be a bit of a dud, if you will. And what I mean by that is, even if WWE were to still plan King and Queen of the Ring, they would have to come up with, it would take them a while to come up with the bracketology for both Raw and SmackDown, not just for the men, but for the women as well. So if you look at the roster, you know, for you know, for both Raw and SmackDown, both sides, both the men and the women, you know, it's, you know, the talent that's on both shows legit speaks volume. It literally speaks volume, and to showcase it, I'll actually bring it up right now. Let's go to Raw. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, so you look at the roster for Raw, right? You've got guys like Akira Tozawa, guys like Angel, guys like Apollo Crews, women like Becky Lynch, guys like Braun Strowman, guys like Bronson Reed, women like Candice LeRae, women like Chelsea Green, guys like Damian Priest, you know, guys like Dominic Mysterio, you know, women like Emma, guys like Finn Balor, women like Indy Hartwell, women like Kaden Carter, like Katana Chance, you know, Liv Morgan as well. You know, Kevin Owens, Natalia, Otis, Raquel Rodriguez, Rhea Ripley herself. Excuse me. Women like Ronda Rousey, guys like Riddick Moss, guys like Sanga, guys like Seth freaking Rollins. You know, the possibilities are out there, and the question is, who would be in the tournament? Who would be in the tournament? If I had to pick 4, if I had to pick 8, 4 for the men, 4 for the women on Raw, I would say Cruz, Bronson Reed, Damian Priest, and I would say Shinsuke, because he was king at one time in WWE, but it wasn't really he was king of the ring. He was the king of the ring after Baron Corbin. And he gave up the crown out of respect for said tournament. Now, as far as the women go, I would say Zoe Stark, Tegan Nox, Natalia, and Indy Hartwell on Raw. SmackDown side, I would pick AJ Styles, Austin Theory, Bobby Lashley, and who else? I would say Montez Ford for the women's side. I would choose Zelina Vega, Scarlett, Lacey Evans, and Io Sky. That's just how I would see it, but still, that's just my personal opinion. But here's the thing. Again, it's as I was talking about. This was supposed to have happened last month. We never got it. We never got it last month because supposedly WWE didn't believe that it was gonna get the hype, the hype and the pop that they were expecting. That's why they scrapped it and turned it into Night of Champions, was because they knew that Night of Champions would be even more historic than King and Queen of the Ring. So the question is, should WWE continue to try and bring up King and Queen of the Ring? Honestly, no. Honestly, I'm being honest, no. Because we know that Crown Jewel is gonna come up in about 3 or 4 months. Let's see. So right now we're at the end of June. So June. So in about 4, maybe 5 months. In about 4, maybe 5 months, and we know that when it comes to Crown Jewel, Crown Jewel has a tendency to bring in a bigger audience, if you will. And to show off what I mean, Crown Jewel, here we are. So Crown Jewel actually started back in 2018. That was actually the first one. That was actually it was actually back in 2018. This was actually the first one. Which I've had the honor of actually doing all the Crown Jewel shows on the channel, which is pretty cool. So there was actually a lot of controversy with Crown Jewel, especially in 2018. In 2018, and one of them was obviously the restrictions on women under Saudi law, meaning that female talent were not allowed to perform at any WWE event in Saudi Arabia. However, Renee Young, or I guess now Renee Paquette, I believe is her actual name. Renee actually did commentary at Crown Jewel that night, which is pretty cool. And there was actually something else that took place, which was the reason. Which actually there was a lot that happened, and as far as what it is, I'm not gonna talk about it because obviously it might offend people. You guys know how it is, but yeah, there was a lot of bullshit that went on in Saudi Arabia in 2018. But you look at the card for 2018, right? Shinsuke Nakamura against Rusev for the United States title. Rey Mysterio versus Randy Orton. The Miz versus Jeff Hardy. Actually was the World Cup, the World Cup tournament. Rey Mysterio versus Randy Orton. The Miz versus Jeff Hardy. Seth freaking Rollins versus Bobby Lashley. Dolph Ziggler versus Kurt Angle. And then, of course, we had the SmackDown Tag Team titles being defended between the Bar and the New Day. The semi-final tournament was The Miz versus Rey Mysterio and Dolph Ziggler versus Drew McIntyre. Sorry, not Dolph versus Drew. Dolph versus Seth freaking Rollins. And then the WWE title, AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe. Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman for the Universal title. And then Shane McMahon against Dolph Ziggler. Or originally it was supposed to have been The Miz, but Shane McMahon took over in the World Cup Finals. And then we had DX versus the Brothers of Destruction, which was actually insane. It was actually insane. You look at 2019. 2019 actually was a bit more controversial, I guess you could say. The ironic thing is that with 2019's Crown Jewel, there was a lot of controversy. A lot of controversy, a lot of history made. One of those moments, women wrestling in Saudi Arabia. First time ever, absolutely insane. I guess the laws were kind of were slightly lifted, I guess. I don't know what the hell happened, but there was a lot of travel delays as well, which explains the war between Raw, SmackDown, and of course NXT, which is pretty crazy. But the results, absolutely insane. Humberto Carrillo eliminating Eric Rowan in a battle royal where the winner would face AJ Styles for the United States title later on in the night. Brock Lesnar versus Cain Velasquez for the WWE title. Yeah, Cain Velasquez was in WWE for a short while. He ended up getting released in 2020, which is a bit unfortunate. Hopefully hopefully we'll see him back in WWE soon, which that would be pretty cool. The OC eliminating the Viking Raiders in tag team turmoil to crown the best tag team in the world. Mansoor against Cesaro, or I guess now Mansoor. Excuse me. Tyson Fury against Braun Strowman. AJ Styles against Humberto Carrillo for the United States title. Natalya versus Lacey Evans. And then of course we had Team Hogan against Team Flair, which Team Hogan featured Roman Reigns, Rusev, Ricochet, Chad Gable, and Mustafa Ali, with Hulk Hogan himself and Jimmy Hart at ringside. Team Flair featured Randy Orton, King Corbin or Baron Corbin, Bobby Lashley, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Drew McIntyre. And then we had the Fiend Bray Wyatt against Seth freaking Rollins. 2020 we didn't get it because of COVID. Now we go to 2021. 2021 actually was even more insane. Even more insane. The Usos against the Hurt Business. I believe it was for the SmackDown Tag Team titles at that point, wasn't it? Yeah, I believe so. Edge versus Seth freaking Rollins inside Hell in a Cell. Mansoor against Mustafa Ali. RK Bro against AJ Styles and Omos. Zelina Vega against Doudrop, which was the Queen's Crown tournament finals. Goldberg against Bobby Lashley, no holds barred. A no holds barred Falls Count Anywhere match. Xavier Woods against Finn Balor in the finals of the King of the Ring tournament. Big E versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE title. Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, and Sasha Banks for the SmackDown Women's title. And then Roman Reigns against Brock Lesnar for the Universal title. Last year's Crown Jewel was arguably one of the most historic we had seen in ever. Brock Lesnar against Bobby Lashley. Damage Control against Alexa Bliss and Asuka for the women's tag team titles. Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Kross in a steel cage. The Judgment Day against the OC in a 6-man tag. Braun Strowman against Omos. The Usos against the Brawling Brutes for the Undisputed Tag Team titles. Bianca Belair versus Bayley in a last man standing match for the Raw Women's title. And then Roman Reigns against Logan Paul for the Undisputed Universal title. This year, I have no doubt in my mind that this year we will be getting Crown Jewel and King, and as far as this goes, King and Queen of the Ring, we're not getting it. We are not going to be getting it anytime soon, and I'm assuming they might wait until next year in 2024 to potentially get King and Queen of the Ring. But with that being said, guys, that brings me to the question of the day, which is this: who do you guys think should be King of the Ring, and who should be Queen of the Ring? Let me know down in the comments below. And that will do it for this week's episode of WWE's Biggest Issue. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and follow me on all of my social media. My ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.